Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on when you are going to see this video. Today is a very special day because podcast is all about how realistically we take the concept and how we can attach a discussion as real as possible. That's the dream that I had when I want to say WayCraft together we are. And this is how I want to start the discussion of today, or probably introduce our guest. She is very well known in speaking field. She is very well known in teaching field. She has got a lot of awards. I will be introducing her formally, but it takes me a lot of interest and excitement to tell to our own guest saying like, okay, perfectly fine. Take all the accolades, take all the achievements, keep it aside. Now let's talk about it. So I'm going to take this challenge with our own guest, Shalini Mukund. I will introduce Shalini Mukund and then welcome you in front of all of you. She is CENTA TPO National Award winner, 3 times National Level Best Teacher Award winner, founder of Voice O Magic, IIMB-NSRCEL certified entrepreneur. She is certified NLP practitioner, something we can relate to with me. Author of Inspiration Unbound, Back to School. 20 plus years in experience in education sector. This is something which I really want to talk more. 100 plus Toastmaster awards. And this is one of the reasons where I went to her and said, we should really do it. Because I really want to know what goes behind an achiever, not the awards. What is the inner preparation? I'm sure these awards would have come after multiple failures or maybe years of failure. I'm interested in there. From where to where, from where to here. She has done 115 educational sessions in Toastmasters. And the next point, listen to me well, delivered 1,500 plus workshops, webinars, and training programs. 1,500 plus. I'm sure there will be a lot which we will learn. She will not tell it, but we will take it out of her. And she is a rank holder in academics. Obviously, if all the above has to come, it should be like that. And one thing which I really like, she loves reading, yoga, and watching thrilling movies. No, for me. But she also likes traveling. There is almost like 80-85% match with who I am. And with this, Shalini, thank you so much. Welcome to WayCraft. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Your starting remarks before I start our journey talk.
Thank you so much, Shri Satish ji. Actually, I was looking forward to this podcast, and I don't know, the first time when I was probably one of the guests when there was a PSAI meeting going on, I could be a part of it, and I heard you speaking about the different things that could happen in the PSS summit. And I found you as a very interesting person who can resonate with others and who can talk a lot about many different topics. Because I feel as a speaker, personally, we should not be just restricted to one area. We should be restricted. We should allow ourselves to talk about many different topics. So I think that was the connect. And I've heard the other people who have given their podcast with you. They've done their podcast with you. And I found this platform to be very interesting. The second reason why I wanted to be here was the logo of your company, WayCraft, looks very awesome. I have not seen a color combination like this that is so beautifully depicted, because it is green and yellow, two primary colors, or I would say green is the bigger primary color. And the way you have blended them together, whoever has designed it, if it is you, kudos to you, or if it is your team, I think the title, the logo, and the color combination is way too attractive and it's very eye-catching. So I've been looking forward to this. I am actually very grateful and thankful to you for taking out time from your very busy schedule. And yes, we could meet today on the virtual screen.
Absolutely. Shalini, let's start with this. Generally, we offer to all the guests, I will ask them to walk through their initial days and etc. Okay. So with you, I want to do something different. Let's start from the middle and then we will go one step right and one step left. Okay. Your teacher journey. Why?
Okay, very interesting question, Satish ji. First of all, I never wanted to be a teacher in the first place. This was the last thing on my mind, and this was the last thing on my mind. And the second reason is I never wanted to be a speaker at all. This is something that just hopped onto my plate. I always wanted to be an architect because when I was young, and I have gone on holidays either with friends or relatives or with my parents, I used to be very fascinated by the historical monuments. Typically, not just the ones which are the wonders of the world, like Taj Mahal or something, even something like the Humayun's tomb or the Madurai Meenakshi temple. Or if you could talk about the different things, the different temples in Bangalore. I'm extremely fond of the way the architecture of that particular monument is designed. What goes into a person's mind who designs something like as huge as a monument? Because people even struggle to decorate their own house, I mean, design their own homes. Nowadays, we have so many options, and AI gives us a plethora of options to choose from. So I always loved that. Whenever I used to go on travel with either cousins or friends or with my parents, was always fond of any historical place. More than nature, beaches, mountains. I'm not a water person at all. I cannot jump into a beach and be there forever. But if you make me stand in front of a historical building, I can look at it for hours. Just get absorbed in the beauty of its architecture. So I always wanted to do that. But it so happened that going back to the past, I was very good since school days at in speaking to my friends, convincing them of things that they never realized that they were good at, but I could bring that foresight to them. So I slowly started realizing that this kind of a profession, which is either counseling or teaching, suits my personality really well. So slowly drifted from that because for anybody to study architecture, you have to take up science. I was good at mathematics, chemistry, but I really was very bad at physics. So I dropped the idea of taking pure science. I was very good at math and chemistry though. And I took up humanities with a combination of economics, history, and statistics, which had a little bit of math because I always loved math. And it went on like that. It actually started when I was in Calcutta University. I am a pure hardcore literature student. I did my grad, postgrad from Calcutta University and my PG diploma from English and Foreign Languages, Hyderabad. But when I was in Calcutta, and typically in Calcutta, what happens is if you are in I studied throughout in co-education from nursery to grade 12, but the college became a girls' college. So typically for girls, it is the morning hours. You leave home at around 7 o'clock, you come back home at 1 o'clock. So I had the whole evening free to myself. And it so happened that I just got this teaching opportunity to teach 4 or 5 kids from my hostel roommate's friend, her college friend. And she just said, I'm leaving Shalini, I'm leaving the city forever. Would you take up this assignment? And it turned out to be really good because there were 4 kids who came from Marwadi background. They had good knowledge of math, physics, chemistry, and all, but English was bad. So I worked with them evening hours, Monday to Friday. I would go to their place, work with them, and they actually excelled in English. That made me realize that this is something which I can take up. And in the bargain, they paid well. So I went back to my dad and said, I don't need money from you anymore. I'm not going to take any money from you anymore. He was also very happy. So this actually gave me an insight that why not try teaching? And then when I just completed my postgrad, I applied in a school, straight away got into teaching 11th and 12th English. I started my career with 11th and 12th, taught them for 5 years, got married, came to Bangalore. Here also, I've worked in all boards. I've worked in CBSE board schools. I've worked in state board schools. I've worked in ICC board schools. I have trained students to write their SOPs. I have, in fact, very recently, one of my students who's been with me since grade 2, he's writing an exam from the one of the universities in the UK, and he's asked me to revise the the content that he's sending to the university. I sat with him and worked on it, and he got a very good feedback from the university. Specifically, the universities asked him that, did you take any mentoring for this? And he said, ma'am, can I use your name for this? I said, you can use my name, but do send me the content as well to read what you've written finally. So I always enjoyed teaching since then, because I realized that this is an innate potential. And I've taught for more than 15 years, all grades, different boards. And with each student, I would say I have connected in a very different way. There's so many students who still come back to me and they say that we remember your classes so much. Even in Toastmasters, which is a really big platform for public speaking and leadership, very recently I was contesting for the district level contest.
I want to stop here for a simple reason. I want to allot a lot of time for Toastmasters separately because Toastmasters is something which I think everybody has to know.
Yeah, no,
I
I'm not touching the Toastmasters part.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying that here also I trained people to
right,
go
right,
for contests or to
absolutely,
go for the host roles,
yeah,
MC roles,
yeah,
and we have got fabulous feedback. So I think I have this innate ability to train someone so well that they can also excel.
perfect.
And
Now,
that's how teaching came into my plate.
okay, as I said, today we are actually experimenting the right step one time and left step one time. So now is the time for the left step. Okay. So can I probably ask you or probably say that, this innate ability to convince somebody, or when I say convince somebody, is carving a personality out of them. Teaching is not putting a knowledge into something. Even Google can do it, or even any AI can do it. But teaching is an indirect personality mold. Okay, and that's the reason why I always admire teachers. Okay, so my left step question is, who inspired you as your teacher? Probably that made an impact while taking teaching as a profession. Can you take that inner journey with that?
Okay, thank you for asking another brilliant question. I would say I don't have any of my formal teachers under whom I did my
Yeah,
education in
anybody.
school or
Yeah,
college greatest are my greatest mentors. I would say the greatest teacher I have ever had is my maternal grandfather, late
yes,
Mr. T.V.V. Raman. So my grandfather is one such person who makes you love the art of whatever you do in a very subtle and soft way. There is no pressure, there is no thrust, there is no force. So I remember the days when I would go to stay with my grandparents when I was a young child. And it was from grade 1 to grade 8. I mean, the time when I was from grade 1 to grade 8, because I lost my grandfather very early. When I just stepped into grade 8, he passed away. But I would like to recall this moment that we at that time we never had any of these luxuries of watching different Netflix movies or documentaries. It was just the time with the grandparents. And I remember two distinctive things about my grandparents, my maternal grandparents. Number one, my grandmother used to make the yummiest of dishes. I mean, I have not seen somebody who can cook better than her. And my grandfather has told the same stories the 8 years that we spent with them. The same story. Every day it is the same two story. We memorized those stories. But he was such a storyteller and he could draw the audience attention. So I would say my biggest teacher first would be my grandfather. Second, I would like to give it to one of my English teachers in grade 11. Her name is Bharti Mishra, whichever corner of the world she is, and if she is watching this, she will know. Bharti ma'am actually drilled the love for language in me because I was a very chill kid when I was in school, and the seriousness of studying actually came when I was in grade 8. And then when I finished 10th standard, which I got good marks, Bharti ma'am was my 11th grade English teacher. She also continued to be the same in 12th. So this teacher had a major impact on me because the love for language, the love for teaching actually came from her. So she would make the classroom a visual space for people to absorb what is going on in the textbooks. It was like a 3D movie through her words. If she's talking about William Wordsworth's Daffodils, or she's talking about Keats' Ode to a Grecian Urn, any of the poems that she's taken, or Shakespeare's plays, the classroom would imagine that those things are happening around them. So I think that is the power of a good teacher, that you just don't do the textbook activity, you go beyond and make the classroom a live space for students to imagine. So the way I imagine William Wordsworth could be different from the way you imagine, but all of us are imagining. That is very important. So the power of imagination, the power of bringing that visual image to your mind, this teacher was able to create. So I
Perfect.
have to give it to my English teacher, because I
Perfect.
never thought I
You know,
would take language as my subject.
when you actually taking this journey, I also started imagining. Few words came into my mind. One is perfection. One is practice. Okay, profession, perfection, passion, practice. Okay. Now this is I will put this as my right step question. Now you are a teacher, or and the uh, probably let's say you are a 10 years expert teacher now, so which means you are no more a fresher. So which means you are now being looked up to. Okay. So I'm your student right now. And I'm coming to Shalini ma'am, and I'm asking this: profession, perfection, passion, practice. Now give me a pie chart for this. Which takes which position and how much of a percentage should? In two angles. One is to mold my personality. Okay, that is of present. And what is for tomorrow? So give me two pie charts if your mind can go.
Fantastic question once again. So in the ranking order, I would first rate passion. You need to have passion for something that you're doing. Like what I can see is you are so passionate about conducting this podcast. I'm extremely passionate about teaching and coaching, because I feel if you can empower somebody else who is listening to you, who has given their time, energy, and is ready to put in those efforts, gaining the knowledge from you, definitely it's one step towards being a better human being. So first is passion. For whatever we do in life, it has to have a lot of passion. And I don't know if you watched this movie, The Perfect Days, the Japanese movie. It talks about that.
Okay.
Here is a janitor. His role is that of a janitor, and as a janitor he's so passionate. Every single day he goes to work with a smile on his face, irrespective of the fact that he's a janitor. That's a movie I recommend everyone to watch. How you
Perfect.
can do
What perfect?
The Perfect Days. It's called Perfect Days.
Okay.
It's just called Perfect Days. It's a Japanese movie. It's a fabulous movie because this guy is the epitome of passion. Every day he goes to do the same task, the task which you or me will not be able to resonate with, but he has so much of passion in that. So for me, first comes passion. Second, you were talking about profession, practice, and one more P. What was the last P one?
Perfection.
Perfection. I would say convert your passion into your perfection through practice, which becomes your profession. Because passion alone cannot sustain for long. It actually has to be worked upon. So that needs perfection through various sources. And today we have a lot of sources. Online courses, we have all these different webinars that we go to, sometimes in-house retreats or resorts or some workshops that happen. So just build that passion with a lot of perfection and practice. The practice brings the perfection, and the perfection becomes your profession. So I
Amazing.
would put it in this order: passion, practice, perfection, profession.
Amazing. Okay. So if again now the left side step. Did you let's say if question is in two forms. Did Shalini go through this order? One. Or if younger Shalini is given this order, will she go in this order?
I would like to take the first question first. Yes, I went through this order
Amazing.
because I have worked very hard on myself to come up to a level of what I am today. And the second question which you asked, which is such a pertinent question, this is what I tell the Gen Z today. If you want to do something, you are not supposed to take too many years to build that amount of practice and perfection. You're supposed to do it in much less time, given the tools that we have today. So this would be the advice to the younger self as well. This is the best order to go. Find out what your passion is. It could be anything. For Javed Habib, the best hairstylist in the country, it is cutting someone's hair. And if you recall the movie, the Perfect Days, it is actually someone who is a janitor. I have a friend who is so passionate about mathematics that he could do mathematics on the floor. Wherever you give him a chalk piece, he'll start doing some mathematics. I mean, even Pythagoras' theorem was developed that way, sitting on the beach side, Pythagoras found out what the theorem is. So first, find out what the passion is and work very hard so that the passion gets a nice shape. And it is also ready to keep getting more and more shapes. It is ready to undergo that transformation, because once it gets that nice shape, it's not necessary it will sustain for long. It has to go through transformation. And make sure that using that passion, how we are able to give it back to the world. Like one of the sessions that I missed, but I've attended all, I've seen all his videos, is by Nishant Khasi Batla. Okay, he was there as one of the speakers, and I have not missed a single video of his. And I remember one thing which he says in one of his videos, in one of his documentaries, is your input could be 50%, but your output should be 100%. And that's how you learn and the world learns. So this would be the advice to me now. This would be the advice to the younger self. This is probably the advice I want to give myself 10 years down the day. Keep doing the work you're doing with the new modalities that are coming in the horizon. Because
What
that's how
I
we adapt.
what I noticed, Shalini, is that this is not scripted. You have not prepared. I have not prepared. When I ask you, it's almost like as if you know what I'm going to ask. The curiosity, what I have to ask you right now is, you can put your mind one side, it goes to movies, another side it immediately goes to Nishant, the next immediately goes to something else. How did it come? Is it something like you as a right from first, you are like that childlike curiosity was there irrespective of which it is, I want to know some kind of it, or is it meticulously practiced and you built it? Is it a nature or is it nurture?
Very nice question. I think you are probably the first person who has asked me this question. I would say it is 50-50. Innately, as a person, I am very curious. I can still get excited talking to a 5-year-old and finding out what that 5-year-old can be interested in. So I'm very curious as a person because I love to learn new things. Sometimes it is a little bit of a problem also with others, because if I don't find somebody as curious as me, I am not able to connect with that person. But that has kind of reduced to a large extent. Being very candid on the podcast, I've tried to adapt myself to other people as well. Not everybody can be like me, and we have to accept that the world is a diverse place of very different people. And it is practice, because I try to blend all elements from various sources, be it movies, be it the videos that I have watched, be it the documentaries, be it Amar Chitra Katha, the storybooks that we grew up with. I try to blend all this even in my training programs for two reasons. Number one, we all come from the background where it is very linear pattern of learning. I'm sure you will resonate with me, Satish ji, on this, that we all come from schools. We all studied in the best of schools. But the thought process of the teachers who taught us was very linear. And that is something this generation cannot adapt to. We can't ask the Gen Alpha, I mean the next generation after Gen Z, that I am going to teach you. I cannot go to a classroom and tell the children that I'm going to teach you the way my teachers taught me. That doesn't work. First of all, for them to accept us as teachers only is a very big thing. So we have to give them the different modalities of learning. And I try to make it more interesting for them. At the same time, the learning bites that are given to the audience, that also is kept intact. So yes, you are right. It is nature and nurture. I have worked on it
Okay,
and still
you
doing it.
okay, you actually beautifully explained on the professional side. Let's delete the professional side. Let's look at the life side. This nature versus nurture, how does it work for building a life?
So I believe that something which you have innately, which is God's gift, I believe every human being has something innate in them. Like if somebody is very good at mathematics, it's an innate, inborn quality. Somebody who's just so good with words, that's again an inborn quality. If you have something which nature has gifted you, it's very important to nurture it as long as we can, as many years as we can. It could be 60, it could be even 80. I see some 80-year-olds also doing fantastically well. So to answer that question, I feel both are equally important, because nature can fade away, it can die if it is not nurtured. And
Absolutely.
anything blossoms in life if it is nurtured well.
Yeah, absolutely. And now I will come back to that point where whether it is nature or nurtured, and it is even if it is beautifully groomed, unless it is communicated well, it is going to silently die. So now it is a point for me to bring in the Toastmasters, because the communication is something where my mind is taking me through, because now we have created the passion, perfection, practice, and then we have finished the nature, nurture, and now we have to tell it to the world who we are. So ideally, this is I don't want to ask by saying, like, what Toastmasters, etc. I want to ask one very curious question. Maybe I'm framing it right or not. When you are forming your speech, you organically grow a speech, or you inorganically assemble a speech? Is my question even relevant or something? I don't know. Yeah, this is what
Very,
is
very nice
going.
question. Very
Yeah.
interesting question. I think this question should be given to all Toastmasters, in my opinion,
Okay.
because I don't think any speech comes to me in a very organic fashion. I
Right.
can never think of first the introduction and then the body of the speech and then the conclusion. It is all assembling.
I see.
And
Okay.
the best ideas I get when I am driving solo
Okay.
in Bangalore traffic.
Okay.
That is how I am. And I'm sure most speakers will resonate with me on this. Just like how this is a very candid and a fresh interview, the ideas that come to me are the ideas where I'll be probably taking a walk in my apartment or driving my car, and suddenly some Hindi song, sometimes I listen to old Hindi songs and one beautiful idea strikes. What
Hmm.
I do is I come back and write it down. I'm still the
Right.
very pen and paper person. So I
Yeah.
write that idea.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the idea I got. Now I have to build a story
Same.
around it.
Yeah.
So it's always assembling. I'm always permanently someone who is assembling things,
Right.
ideas, creativity, everything.
Right. Okay.
But in the
Uh,
assembling, I find the structure.
right. Okay. Now, I I I got introduced to Toastmasters only after coming to PSAI. Okay. I'm sure Toastmasters is a very big organization, etc. But still, there are Satish Sampath in the world. Okay. Because our profession is different, like our world view is different. We never came into this section at all here. So give us a 2-minute intro of Toastmasters. I think that is bizarre, definitely. I'm sure if anybody is looking into it, if they don't know what is Toastmasters, I have an obligation, and I feel that they should know it, and they should actually know it as early as possible, because that can actually put them in a very nice place. So 1 or 2 minutes about Toastmasters.
Basically, Toastmasters, as we all know, is a worldwide organization, a non-profit organization, which is for public speaking and leadership. So anybody who feels that he or she is has been an exceptional student in life, has been a very good person in the career path, but cannot articulate their ideas, Toastmasters is the place to experiment. It's like an experimental ground where people come, they present their ideas, they present their speeches, and it's actually a platform to build confidence in communication. So that happens in Toastmasters. And the word Toastmaster is actually to raise toast for people who have the courage and confidence to come and speak in front of public. Most of the people join Toastmasters for this reason. They want to see themselves speaking better, articulating with good words and phrases, and presenting themselves better to the audience. And that is what the platform is all about. Some people join specifically only for leadership. Like I have friends who want to only work on the leadership roles because that helps them in their career path, in their workplace, how they can manage people, how they can manage conflicts, people management, crisis management, and all of that. So the way it is designed, I believe that it's a win-win situation for anybody. Whatever I want to learn from Toastmasters, I want to adapt and gain from Toastmasters, I work towards that path and I get it for the fees that I pay to any Toastmasters club. So that is what I feel Toastmasters is all about. But
Okay.
my reason for joining Toastmasters is not that, because I was already a speaker much before Toastmasters.
Yeah, yeah. So that's fine. Same with regards to PSA also. Like we are into the speaker trainer workshop mode before, and then we get to know about this. But I am actually curious. As you ended, you kind of put one thing in my brain now. See, what if you and me know about this Toastmasters or PSA? When we were literally blank. I'm sure we may not be that person right now, but you would actually see somebody right now who come in, who were, I was a guy, I am very happy to admit now, maybe 25, 30 years before, I don't even know anything other than my name is Sathish Sampath. Okay. After that, I am blank. Okay. So from there to here, it's a self journey, like failure after failure, build it out of failure and things. And currently there are many labs where you can actually build it. So I want to probably spend couple of minutes, maybe no need to take a name or something, but if you have seen a sparkling, transformation of anybody, okay, give us some example.
You mean in Toastmasters or in PSA?
Anywhere, like I'm saying, like, people like me, if I interchange this and then if I think myself as a guest of the show, if somebody is going to ask me saying like 30 years back, how was your younger self? My younger self is all about this one single line. Finished. Okay. So I'm just trying to equate. I'm sure the old Satish of Esther years will definitely be part of either Toastmasters or PSA. Till now, I have not seen in PSA. So probably you would have seen in Toastmasters.
Okay, very interesting and a very different question. I do have a couple of friends in Toastmasters. Everybody grows. Since you specifically asked me about Toastmasters, I do have a couple of friends, and with great honor and respect, I have to take one person's name. I have a friend called Shashank Bhatt. He's very recently become, he's a newly minted distinguished Toastmaster. Shashank is one person whom I really look up to. We are good friends because what I see in Shashank, the way he has groomed himself, sometimes people are in a hurry in Toastmasters. Everybody wants to get DTM, and this is the reality. Okay, I've spent 2 years in Toastmasters. Now somebody is telling me, hey, you have to do this to become DTM. So people get into DTM. Or some people want to keep doing the same contest year after year. I've seen different kinds of people, to each his own. But Shashank is one person whom I have immense respect. He's younger to me in age, but the way he thinks, any situation, any crisis, any kind of task that he is given, Sashank is able to manage so well. He is very good at speaking. He has shown exceptional leadership qualities because he became a DTM now. And what I learned from him is this one thing, and of course I am like that. If I am put in any scenario, I should be able to adapt and work with others, keeping my ideas also intact in the same way that they need to be respected. This is the biggest quality I've learned from this gentleman. Because I see Toastmasters, some of them are in a hurry to reach the ladder, the top ladder. Some people think, okay, I have reached the top ladder, now I have to come back to contest. I love to take things a little slow. I'm not saying that I am slow at all, but go one pace at a time. And this is one thing which I learned from him. Because when they do the DTM project, the Distinguished Toastmaster project, is typically 10 months. For Shashank, he's already got the DTM. He's continuing to do the DTM project till June end because he's that committed. So this person, I don't know, I sometimes call him that you're a sage who should be living in a different planet, but you're living on Earth. but he's my very dear friend. And these are the qualities, that the quality of being tenacious is what he is. And that I really admire in any human being. How
Absolutely.
your mind is tenacious, even in the toughest of situations, that you can handle things
Okay.
without letting the world know.
Okay. In that case, I think I'll put a tenacious situation for you now.
Ask me. Yeah.
Just before this, like we were talking about that table topics, okay, where something is given to you immediately and it's like an example. Okay. So let's take something. Okay. What I want is I know that you will speak very well, but I want to have a transparent brain of yours. I want you to narrate what is going on inside, not the speech. Okay. So I don't know what topic we can do. Okay. Broken lamp. Okay. I just saw a broken lamp. So that if okay, now I've just given you a topic called broken lamp. Now you have to tabletop is 1 minute speech or what? 2 minute speech, whatever it is. Now you have to make a extempore broken lamp tabletop speech now. Give us a narration. How that your brain is now going to start. Give us a narration. What are you thinking right now? Just speak it out.
Okay, so you don't want the table topic, you want the ideas that are running in
Yes,
my.
yes. So because it should be extempore, which means that something has to be running at a speed of, if it is only 1 minute, then it has to run at a speed of microseconds, right?
Correct.
So give us a run through.
All right. A very interesting question from a behavior scientist. So what is going in my mind right now is a broken lamp. I'm thinking about the lady with the lamp, Florence Nightingale. What are the thoughts that are coming to my head? I'm
Okay.
also thinking about a broken lamp, which could be just broken from the outside, but it still has a lot of potential to spread its light from the inside. Something that is broken can be mended easily, and it can give much more shine and power to the rest of the world. A broken lamp also makes me think about a movie that I can make in the future, which with the title Broken Lamp, resonating it with somebody's personality. And a broken lamp could also be a good topic and analogy that can be used as a prop in my speech. A broken lamp can also be something that I can write a nice 2 line or a 3 line poem on and present it in a poetry competition, maybe 5 or 6 lines. So these are the thoughts that
Perfect.
went
Okay.
inside my mind when you asked this question.
Perfect. Shalini, now you have lot of, we call it as lot of quantas. Means quantas, idea quantas. Like you have lot of tiny stars now. How do you join this into a story? How do you join this into a speech? Can you now speak? Your time starts now. Something like that. How do
Now
you
this is
join?
a table topic.
Yes.
Okay. Very good afternoon, everyone. I feel I am like the broken lamp because I can still spread a lot of light, just like Florence Nightingale did. She was called the Lady of the Lamp. I am called the lady who spreads a lot of gyan, a lot of knowledge to others. I resonate myself with the broken lamp because the shine of the lamp never dies. I might have failed quite a number of times in life, but I have collected those pieces back and built myself again. And whatever I have learned from my life is what I have given to others. Whatever I do in my day-to-day life, which includes speaking, which is 95%, is what I train others with. In my mind, I feel all human beings have a little bit of that broken lamp inside them. And it is good to be broken, that little portion of it. Because when it is broken, you realize even the scattered pieces make a lot of beautiful stories for you. And when you join those stories together, when you join those puzzle pieces together, the lamp can be recreated in the most beautiful shape. And it comes in its new avatar, in its new light, and gives a lot back more to humanity. So that is how I can call myself as that broken lamp, which broke, but it only broke to shine better and make the world a better place.
Amazing. Super. Okay. I'm just trying to get this idea. Okay. So is this how you do? You have immediately, if I say something, you immediately capture few twinkle points here and here and here and here. and then you are trying to make a story out of it. But while you were actually talking, you went little more all these scattered pieces towards this, and then the lamp creation, create a new avatar. These are all like on the flow it goes. Okay, these are all on the flow it goes. Okay, my question to you is like this. Okay, you are right. I'm a behavioral psychologist, so these are the things which actually excites me. Just like how ideas are born, how you are able to. What if life is presenting you a very difficult situation? Okay, everybody, we're all in our life. Life is not easy for everybody. Life definitely challenges everything. Will your thought process be as clear and as connective as how your tabletop ideas are right now? Or slash and okay. If it becomes our own, how much of an emotion that plays in all these twinkles and connections and things like that? Because I want to know from if I give you a topic, you are like bam bam bam, beautiful. Okay, is personal Shalini that beautiful to handle that?
So to answer this question, I have already faced the most difficult situation in my life, which is I have one son and he is 22 now. He's doing well, but when he was 16, he was diagnosed with a tumor on his spine.
Oh.
And one day when he came back home, he said, I was just playing football on the ground and I just fell down because my legs became numb. Upon finding out what it was, it turned out to be cancerous, the tumor. And this is a form of cancer, which is lymphoblastic lymphoma, which appears mostly in the boys who are in the age group of 14 to 16. But his markers were very doable. The whole treatment was for about a year on chemotherapy because the doctors, they want to rule out everything that it never comes back again, because childhood cancer is very highly curable and his form was very highly curable. So it was almost, he didn't have any spread because in the first chemo and after the scan, there was nothing. But the treatment went on for 8 months, 8 to 9 months, and 2 years of maintenance phase. So I have already gone through the toughest battle because there have been nights that I have cried, but I always picked myself up saying that this too shall pass. And that was a time we did intensive research, extensive and intensive research, talking to people who came out of this, because we just go, I believe all people come in your life for some beautiful reason. Today that we are part of this podcast is also some deeper connection in the future.
Absolutely.
So we came across one family from Maharashtra out of nowhere. And that boy had a similar problem when he was 16. He was 21 then. And he came to meet my son. He said, this is a similar case. You will come out of this. After he lost his 10th standard because he had to give it the second year. Scored a 90 in 10th, 95 in 12th with 3 subjects CENTA. He got the best outgoing student from college. He finished his college. He's applied for jobs. So I have already gone through that. And the question which you asked, the only thing I kept telling to myself, and because you can't show your weakness in front of the people who are already trying to bring this in. My son
Right.
is really someone whom I love and admire and respect now. He's even written a book called It's Not That Hard. He's become
Okay.
a favorite of the doctors, the neurologists, the pediatricians, the oncologists, everyone. I only kept telling myself one thing, that this will pass. It's
Hmm.
just a testing time, just a
Hmm.
roadblock.
The book name is It's Not That Hard.
It's not that hard.
Is
Yes.
your son's name?
Manas Shalini Mukund.
Okay. I am
So
definitely reading that.
it's because if you buy the book, the money goes to the charity, Cancer Foundation. So we don't get anything. It goes to the fund. So I've already seen that and gone through the probably the deepest in the pit. But if we have come out of that, and after that participating in contests and so many other things, I think yes, probably God has made me in such a way that I can handle it. That's all
Amazing.
I say.
You, you have actually said everything. It's not an answer. It's actually a living experience you have actually shared. And I'm
Yeah.
so happy Manas is doing very well right now, and in my prayers and blessings for him for sure.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
See, this is exactly what probably the great speakers or great thinkers have, you know, um, going through something yet putting the bold face and the steps forward. Okay. I am going to ask a question related to idea formation, but not with regards to speaking, but with regards because you are a teacher. Okay. If you go back and ask young Shalini, probably school Shalini, okay, with the kind of an experience that you have, okay, if you have to probably prepare young Shalini of school, let's say 10th standard right now, okay, nothing regarding to career, give her a life lesson, a mind lesson. What comes to you? Maybe one or two, or maybe two, three, five, top five, something like that, top three, anything.
I think thank you for this very, very nice question, because I always feel that, people should ask me this question. And this is one of my favorite questions to answer. Just talk to a lot of people, network with people. By network, I mean not the business kind of networking, candid speaking with people.
Yes.
And do not
Strangers,
demarcate,
talking to strangers. Yes.
yes, do not demarcate them on age. Because I have made myself in such a way that I can learn from a 5-year-old, I can learn from an 80-year-old. This is my suggestion, I would say advice to the younger Shalini and all the children who are in that age group today. You just have to go and explore the world. Talk to anybody you come across.
Mm.
Because today what I see is when I go to colleges or when I go to schools, they are all in a bubble. Parents are very, very skeptical about whom their child is going to. For the smallest of things, they send a mail to the schools, they send a mail to the colleges. I think that is not going to help this generation at all. That hardcore experimental or experiential learning is what is going to help them. And we have to talk to people. I got a very nice, interesting I would say learning from one of my mentors. She's very young to me by age, but this is what I learned from her. She told me, Shalini, try and work with the most difficult people. It's okay, your life is not going to be easy, but you will learn tremendously from them. And that short period of time, that 6 months or 8 months that you are with them, you are going to have a beautiful life of next 25 years.
Correct.
So this is my first advice. Talk to every single person. And that is what I'm doing in PSAI. I'm just texting people and asking them. That's how we also got connected. When do you have time? Okay, we need to do a one-to-one. Just speak to people without any assumptions, barriers, hurdles in the mind of how the other person is going to be. I know as human beings, it's not easy for us to be non-judgmental. We are wired to be judgmental. Nobody can be non-judgmental. But it's okay. Have the judgment, but still go and talk. Just speak out. Listen to the other person, what he or she has to say. I think this is one thing which I have developed. I was not like this. In school, I was a very quiet child. I'm still made fun of that because my mom says, you don't even know, you just cannot recall the person who sat next to you in grade 4. Because I was very quiet. Just go to school, do homework, get the best marks, come home. That's it. School life is all about that. But it doesn't help. We need to talk to whomsoever we meet in life. It's very important. The second advice I would like to give to people is travel the world. Instead of buying all the expensive things, I mean, to each his own, but traveling teaches a lot. When you go to different countries, meet different people, you see their culture, you see our culture, how the adaptability of two cultures can be brought in. And that's what we see in Toastmasters and PSAI. It really helps. It's a remarkable tool to travel and network with the people on the other side of the globe. And the third suggestion would be people should read books. I have started buying books of people who have written books in PSA and reading them. I'm about to finish Bharti Nayak's book. Excellent book. She's written about her story. So I'm next going to order Mithil's book. because I want to read what people have written. So reading, very important. And by reading, I don't mean just the classics, Shakespeare, Thomas Hardy and all that. Read the people's books whom you see on day-to-day life. Tomorrow, if you
Absolutely.
write a book, I am going to buy and read that.
Absolutely.
So these would be my top 3 recommendations. Speak to people of every age group, travel the world and read books.
Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, now I will show a mirror to that question. If young Shalini is coming now, what will she say that, this you should have not done, not the appreciation? What would have been the things that was like, no, that time, but yet happened now?
So the question is, if a younger version of me came up to me and said, what you're doing
Probably,
now, this particular thing you should not have done.
yes, or probably on a lighter sense, would mock you saying like, see, you are doing this now.
Ah. If I can twist this question
Yeah,
the other way around, I think when I was very young, I was someone who never smiled. Okay, this is very hard for people to believe. And for a long time, people used to call me, I'm sorry, I'm answering it like a statement, but for a
that's
long
okay.
time, people used to call me arrogant. I don't know
Right.
for what reason. And this image continued with me till the time I finished college and started working. But now the same people call me very graceful. I think that itself is a big achievement for me to convert that image to this image.
Right.
So I would probably reverse the question in such a way that if I had the opportunity to meet my younger self now, I would have told my younger self, you wasted a lot of time in adapting to good things. You should have done
So,
them much, much faster.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's not difficult to do these things.
Yeah. You answered it perfectly, and you actually reminded me. I don't know, naturally it has happened. Like now I have no choice but to go to the human archive questions. This is exactly the place, the human archive, the 7 questions fall perfectly into the place now. I'm so happy the discussion has beautifully come to this, section naturally. Okay. I've explained to you, but to people who are viewing this video, we have 7 questions. It's a continuation of long form research. Basically, it's a personality demography diffusion research. This is how people think of their inner self. That's all. Nothing to do with who you are, what you are, etc. So, if you are ready, 7 questions. The only rule is give me like pointed answers. Any number of points is fine, but objective answer rather than a subjective answer. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, with your permission, I'm going to ask you the first question. The first question is, who are you when nobody needs anything from you?
Just a happy soul. I'm very happy with myself.
Happy soul. Okay, perfect. So I'll go to the second question. Second question is, what part of yourself do people benefit from the most, but rarely notice?
Ah, that's a good one. Can I take about 10 seconds to think?
Yes, please. If you want, I will repeat that question.
What part of me people find
What
very
part
useful?
of yourself do people benefit from the most, but rarely notice?
I would say my ideas.
Brilliant answer. Okay,
They benefit a lot, but they rarely notice.
perfect. Okay, I'll go to the next question with your bonus. Question number 3. What became stronger in you because life hurt you? I think we already discussed it, but
Resilience,
objectively,
high
sorry,
level resilience.
perfect. Resilient. Okay. Question number 4. What ordinary moment in life feels extraordinary to you?
Having my nice cup of thick filter coffee and newspaper every day in the morning. That is
Wow,
most extraordinary for me.
nice answer. That's a brilliant answer. Okay. Next question. What silently disappeared from your life as you grew older?
A lot of self-doubt about myself disappeared. I became a more confident person.
Ah, perfect. Okay. With your permission, next question, sixth question. What kind of human connection do you think the world currently is starving for right now?
We are real human beings who have made fake connections, so real connections are missing.
Brilliant answer. Tabletop thinker. Okay. This is a question which is very deeply connected to me. The last question before we wind up is when everything else is removed, connection, accolades, whatever and whichever you think of, everything else is removed. Who are you?
I'm still the most happy person, the happiest. I'm very happy with myself.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And with this, I think this is one of the episodes where we nicely came into the seven, human archive questions, without even thinking to go into it. So from my side of it, I'm very contented and thank you so much for giving me your time and how you feel and give me your closing comments on this.
I really enjoyed the entire session of this 1 hour time, Satish ji, and I was very much eagerly looking forward to this. But the questions that you asked me were very deeply connected to how we are as human beings innately. They were not very the think tank kind of questions. They were very deeply resonating with the kind of human behavior approach that you have. So absolutely enjoyed it. Some of the questions are very interesting because everybody likes when their inner self is dug a little more. I love the table topic idea, and the two questions that really stood out for me, apart from the last rapid fire, was you asked this very intelligent question, very, very high level intelligent question is what runs in a person's mind when he or she thinks? Okay, this is a question we need to ask ourselves every single day, I believe. How we streamline our thought process. The table topic became the antidote of it, but
Yeah.
that was one of the very good questions because this is my question to people when I go for training programs. What is running in your mind currently? How do you streamline your thoughts? So, sometime in later in life, I want to do some course on behavior psychology. This has been there in my as a pipeline project for a very long time. I
You should
definitely
do.
want to do. If you can recommend some online courses or something that I can do with the schedule that I have, I would be more than grateful. And thanks for having me on this wonderful, wonderful podcast. Absolutely enjoyed it thoroughly.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Very
so much,
interesting
Shalini.
questions and a very pleasant host.
Thank you so much. And some of the points which you actually talk on this particular show is not only for people of your reflection. Like some things, when while you are answering, I'm thinking and I'm going in an inner journey. So when we put a realistic situation and start talking, okay, the journey is not a solo journey, it's always a joint journey. That is where, like I purposefully put this term called together we are, because, while you were talking about your journey, it may not be the same, but I am also traveling in my inner journey. So every episode that we actually come and talk to guests, some new revelation is there, some transformation is there, some regrets are definitely there. And so there is always a path of journey where we can look back to have a better forward move. Okay. So in that way, I really enjoyed this session with you, and I now know how tabletop thinking works, and And it is a brilliant way that you just connected everything and then formed a story on the move, etc. But I would like to really work on that perspective, because you can create a lot of models out of it here. So with that, like, coming to an end of this show, I want to tell everybody, I'm saying the same thing again and again every show end, is that no matter what happens in your life, okay. And today, Shalini actually opened up a personal story, how the resilience worked in her life. They stood the ground, and now Manas is also doing very well. They're also doing very well. So it is a testament for every single show which I'm saying. No matter what happens in your life, there will always be somebody or some situation which will always be with you. So you don't have to work everything and in a solo. We are together, and just make sure that you live in the present, be aware, and always be healthy, happy, loving, and always carry a smile. So thank you so
The
much,
last
Shalini.
question that you asked me, okay, if everything is removed,
Yes,
who are you still?
yes.
If you haven't watched the movie The Castaway,
Okay.
have you watched that?
No, I'm not a movie person. Okay,
This one you should watch.
okay,
It is one of the best movies where Tom Hanks is the actor.
right,
And the question resonates with the movie.
right.
I won't tell you much about it.
I will go on much.
You go and watch the movie. It's one of the most brilliant movies ever, The Castaway.
Perfect. And that's how our show is also brilliant. And all the credits to Shalini, how you took us this natural flow of information. So be healthy, happy, and always be smiling. Thank you so much, Shalini. And
Thank
thanks
you
to
so much,
everybody.
Satish ji. Wonderful, wonderful podcast. I completely enjoyed, and very nice and interesting questions. I think these questions are very important for people to allow their creative juices to flow and the intelligence that they can present through with their answers. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Lovely meeting you on the virtual screen. Someday we will meet in person.
Absolutely. Waiting for it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.